Okay. All right. So basically, what needs to happen is you need to make sure that you're logged into Canvas. So at any point as we're going through this, if you have any questions, just unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay, this is an open forum. We're here so that you make sure you get into the right places at all times. So by all means, just unmute yourself and say something, okay? If you're on mute. All right, so once you go ahead and get here, as you know, you can just type. By the way, once I'm doing the presentation, I'm not going to be really able to pay a lot of attention to the chat. So make sure that you basically unmute yourself and say something. Otherwise, I may not hear you. All right, let me see if, okay. So for some reason, my shortcuts are not working. So I'll just do this. All right, so to get to Canvas, right, you're going to want to go to my college. See my keyboard for some reason. Oh, this is not good. Let's see, for some reason my keyboard is not typing. Let me unplug and replug the receiver. Okay, here we go. Okay, so you're going to want to go to mycollege.laccd.edu as you see up here, and just hit enter. That should bring you to the login page, right? So once you have arrived here, you're going to log in with your information. Like, it's going to be different for me as an instructor than it is for you. So usually it's your student ID and some password. So go ahead and type all that in and log in, right? And now you're going to go ahead and enter your class, find the class among, probably a list of classes that you're taking. For us right now, it's Math 137. All right, so now, if you notice when you log in, you're always going to see my latest announcements on the top. So this should have already reached you through email, right? So in case you've missed them there, you'll see them again here, always. So on the top, you'll have the latest 5 or so announcements. To see all the announcements, you're just going to click on announcements like that, okay? And then you'll see all the announcements. But if you want to go back to where we were, just click on home. Now, let me go ahead and show you the actual view that you see, which is called student view. So let me enter that. So your view is going to be simpler than the one you saw a minute ago. That was the instructor view with all kinds of options. So this is a much simpler version that you're going to see. So on a daily basis, you're going to want to log in here. Now you're going to see some permanent items up here. I told you some of this in the video already, the welcome video. Like the course syllabus, very important. You're going to want to study all of that, please. And the test dates and times. Remember, as I mentioned in the welcome video, the class is not self-paced, but it is no mandatory meeting type of class, but still there are due dates. That's for all classes, it's not just mine. All right, so basically for tests, you'll have a 24-hour period. Let me show you. So when you click on that, I have all the test dates for you, right? So notice the first one is just a practice quiz, just to get you familiar with the way that the testing situation works. These are the real tests, chapter 1 through 10. Now, it looks like a lot of tests, but that's because I've put very small chunks. The class is paced so comfortably. I mean, you literally would have to try really hard to fail. I mean, it moves at a very sustainable pace, okay? So as long as you stay with the program, do what you're supposed to do on a daily basis, you're going to be in great shape, okay? So, for example, for the first test, now we can make that bigger, like this. And if I push Control plus, I can make that even bigger. So for test 1, for example, notice the 24-hour period that I was talking about is from September 14th, 12 p.m. until September 15th, 12 p.m. That's exactly 24 hours you have in order to be able to take the test. Now, the test itself is going to be given over a period of 90 minutes, and you will have, so you'll want to make sure you start soon enough so that you don't run out of time. You don't want to start at 11 p.m. on the 15th. That'll be too late, right? You'll lose some of your time, so you don't want to do that. All right, so let me go back to the home page. So that PDF will always be there. In fact, all of these items will always be there, okay? This is the Zoom link to my office hours. I want you to know that even though this is an online class, you know, I'm still here. You very much have a real human instructor to deal with. So those are going to be on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or by appointment. So if you can't make it during those times, send me an email. We'll set something up that works for you, okay? This one is also very helpful because, you know, you're going to be working in MathXL, which is just a different version of MyMathLab. And it's very helpful to be able to put in expressions very efficiently. All right, so give me 1 minute to show you this. So here you can see the formats, right? All right. So if you click on these links, each of them will give you a hint on how to enter expressions into MyMathLab efficiently, okay? Now, let's do something interesting together. Let's go send a reminder to some of your classmates who haven't shown up. See, I'll show you, let you experience things my way a little bit. Let me leave student view. So let's leave Canvas through my eyes for a minute. So we'll go to announcements. I'll make a new announcement. And I'll say, reminder, orientation, Zoom meeting in session now, okay? That should get their attention, right? Please join the meeting at, and we have to get the URL. So that's quick, we'll do it here. Let's see. I want to go to Costco right now. Okay, so I should have that here. All right, so we'll send them the Zoom link. And what was the password I sent you guys? Somebody tell me, please. Was it 2864?
2864.
That's what I thought. Thank you. Passcode 2864. See you there. All right. So let's see if we can get some more of them on board. All right. So I just want to show you. See, if you go to the home page now, you'll see that pop up on the very top. You see, so the latest announcements that I send will always be up here on the top. All right. So those are the permanent items, right? So here we're going to be looking at the Chapter O homework. That just tells you how to use the Math Excel, right? It shows you how some of the information about how to put in homework results into Math Excel, etc. These are the sets. Notice Chapter 1 is mostly going to be review of elementary, like arithmetic and some algebra, okay? So it's a very, very simple chapter, but very important, because if we don't know that basic stuff, we're gonna have problems the rest of the term, okay? So again, very comfortably paced for you, where you do one set a day. And if you've seen, some of you have already signed into Math Excel, if you see the assignments, I haven't given you 100 problems a night. I've given you very, very manageable size sets. So if you just take them seriously, you should be in great shape once test day arrives, okay? So so what you're gonna want to do daily is, you see how it says, for example, do 9-2, right? So before you do the set that's do on 9-2, you're going to go right before it, right? There is the lesson you're going to want to read. So you're going to go over this lesson, which is going to be in PowerPoint format. Again, if you click that, it'll become full screen and it'll be easier for you to read it, okay? And then once you're finished with, again, interactively, right? You don't want to read it like a book. You want to read it in a very interactive fashion. So you want to have paper and pencil in hand, be working the problems through along the PowerPoint, okay? And then when you come on if you can make it to those Sunday sessions, I'll give you more feedback. I'll show you some methods maybe that are not necessarily on inside the PowerPoint provided to us by Pearson. So I'll give you some helpful tips and tricks on those sessions if you can manage that. I'll try to record those as well in case you can't make it to those. So go ahead and go through the announcement, and I'm sorry, announcement. My mind was still in the announcement I just wrote. Go through the PowerPoint lesson, and then you're ready to go ahead and do the corresponding set. You could hit next or whatever. So if you can just go back here, then after you've read that 1.2 PowerPoint, then you'll go ahead and attempt to do the assignment, right? So now, as you try to go into one of these assignments, in fact, the very first one, you should be led to the, well, not that one, sorry. You should be led to the sign-in page for So one of these that have a do right before them, right? So 1.1, so this should be, all right, so as soon as you do that, it's going to take you to Pearson, right? All right, so I need you to go ahead. Okay, it looks like we got one person who saw our message. All right, so I need you to go ahead and start to follow this procedure. I would like you to be signed up before we get out of this meeting. So, and I want to make sure that I'm here to help you in case you run into any kinds of issues, right? So notice if you click that button right there.
Sorry to interrupt, but I'm at work. I already signed up for everything that you told me to.
Okay.
But if I have any questions, I'll email you. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. All right. We'll see you soon. Take
All right,
care.
thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. If you click that, it's going to take you into the MATLAB, the Pearson Math Excel site. Now, if you have already done this, you're obviously going to have a username and password, right? If you haven't ever dealt with Pearson, you won't have a username and password, so you'll need to register, okay? So if you do, like if you've used any Pearson products before, go ahead and click on, just sign in. And then you'll just be able to add the class. But if you have not, then go ahead and register. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And if you run into any issues, let me know. I'm going to kind of go through the registration with you. So when you click on register, right, it's going to ask you for whether you're a student or an educator. Obviously, you're going to choose the student option. All right, so in here, you're obviously going to be registering for a course required by your instructor. It's not a self-study course. So make sure that you click on the first option. And here you're going to enter the course ID or program ID. So you have that in your syllabus. So let's go quickly back to Canvas. Let me show you where that is. All right, so if you go back to Canvas, notice you have course syllabus, right? Which is also a PDF document. All right. As I mentioned in the welcome video, on the very last page of this document, you'll find Math Excel registration information. So when they say course ID, this is what they're looking for. Okay, so you're going to want to copy that. Let me see. I do think this should be copyable. Well, it's not cooperating with me right now. So you may have to, it's not the end of the world. You'll just have to, I'll just open a notepad or something on your computer, just type it. I didn't mean to make this not clickable, but somehow it's not clicking. I think I know what happened. I think I took an image of it because plugging in the PDF made it look really unreadable and bad. So I took it, I transferred it into image format. That's why it's not copying, but it's not that many things. It's only 16 characters. 9021-3QM2. Okay, so make sure you copy it correctly. So XL3N X1, XB, all the letters are uppercase, 9021, and then dash 3QM2. So we're going to take that, and we're going to go back to the Math Excel page, registration page we were on, right? We're going to type that in, and then we're going to continue. All right, so here again, if you have a Pearson account, you go ahead and use it to sign in. If you don't, you create one. Okay, so create one if you don't have one. If you've ever done, say, MyLab Math or MyLab English or anything like that, those are all Pearson products. So you already have a Pearson account if you've ever done one of those. So go ahead and type in. Now I have, I think I have a student account in here somewhere. I'm going to look for it. I'll come back and share screen again. Okay, so go ahead and log in if you've already created an account or if you've found your old Pearson account. Okay, so all right, so once you finally get signed up or logged in, then you'll have these options. Now, if you have purchased the physical textbook by any chance at any point and you have not used the insert, which has a subscription, a MyLab subscription, then you should be able to use that access code. If not, you need to pick one of these options, and the 6 months should be more than enough for us because, as you know, the semester only lasts maybe 4.5 months or so. So I would just probably go with this option. As I said, when I did this before, they had it on a $25 situation, but they told me now that's only for high school now. They're charging our college students this much. I'm going to try to fight them this semester, but at this point, it's not going to result in anything useful for us. So, but I'm going to try to get them to honor that again for us, but that's probably not going to work out till next term, even if they agree, which they probably won't. I mean, these businesses usually, once the price goes up, it rarely ever goes back down. All right, so go ahead and pick this option, I would say, and continue. They're probably going to ask you to put in some payment information. And by the time you finish it, you should be all signed up, okay? And that should take care of this business. All right. So obviously from this point forward, after you're done with your registration, let me ask you first of all, any questions with the registration so far? Any questions about anything so far?
No.
No.
All right. So once that's all done, the rest is really easy. You're gonna read a lesson, you're gonna do a set, right? So once you click here, from now on, you'll have, I mean, my recommendation to you is have your computer save your username and password so that you can log in quickly, okay? Then you go ahead and just log in, right? You should be able just to log in from within Canvas. My recommendation is that even though you can just go to mathexcel.com and enter, my recommendation is that you enter through Canvas so that you get Canvas hours spent credit. I think that's the way it works. One of the problems is that I'm always doing this as a teacher, so I'm not 100% on how you experienced it as a student, but I try to go through the student mode, but that's limited. That's not a real complete student experience like you have, okay? But so my recommendation is always go ahead and access it through Canvas, at least initially, right? And now here, ignore what you see down here, that's mine. You're gonna see this, right? So you're just going to click on homework and tests. If any of you have had my math lab before, you're gonna like this, I think, because this is so much simpler than the way my math lab looks, but it has all the functionality. So, all right, so you're gonna click on homework and tests, and then you'll go ahead and click on one of the sets that you're doing, right? So for example, if you're doing 1.1, you're just gonna click on chapter 1, and you're going to go ahead and click on question 1 and proceed. That's it. You go all the way to the end. When you're finished, you're going to go ahead and push submit assignment or submit homework, okay?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the homework is due 12 p.m. on, for example, if the first one that's due, it's due on 9/1 at 12 p.m. So I have all of today up until 12 p.m. tomorrow. Is that how it works?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly
Got it.
Yeah. Let me
Okay.
just make sure that something is right here. So let me go back to the assignment. I'm trying to get out of this thing. Yeah, leave, it's okay. Yeah, you know what? I entered into, I'm in the, I was just getting worried because I'm like, wait, this doesn't look like your homework because I have 2 classes set up here. So don't worry, you're going to be all right. When you log in, this is not going to happen to you. because I'm managing 2 classes here. That's why it happened to me. But here, I'm just going to go to your course now, which is 137. All right. We're going to be fine. All right. So your actual first assignment, this is what you're going to see. All right. And yours is going to be 1.1, etc. Now, I also wanted you to run through this practice test. So if you open that, this is what test day is going to look like, right? Except here, it's not going to say 15 minutes. It's going to say something like what? Like 90 minutes. So you're going to notice, now, by the way, this practice test, you can try it as many times as you want. It doesn't matter. However, this is what's really important to understand. Once you start the test, you need to sit there and finish it in one attempt, okay? That's the way, it's just like a regular classroom test, right? So do not leave this, because if you leave it, the system is gonna lock you out, okay? The reason is because unfortunately, some people were taking advantage of the situation with leaving the test, going into the homework assignments, finding answers and coming back, etc. So to avoid that, Pearson has put in a system which locks you out. So once you start a test, you need to finish the test, okay? So go ahead and finish and then submit. And once you push submit, that'll be your attempt. Now, that's not how real tests are going to be, because with this, you'll be able to go ahead and try it again. See what I mean? Because I made this multiple attempt just for practice purposes. But the real test is that's it. Once you submit the test, you're done. Okay? You will see the result, and that'll be your test score. Okay? So again, if you're doing your daily homework, there is absolutely no surprise on test day, okay? Because I basically get a shopping basket and I go shopping for questions for your test from your homework assignment. So no, I don't throw you any curveballs, no surprises, okay? If you have done every homework assignment, you won't see a single problem in here and go, oh gosh, where does that come from? None, okay? It's very, very straightforward. All right. So that is the way that these work out. Again, don't forget, when you're done, you do need to hit submit test, all right? And it's gonna say, now if you've missed any questions or you've forgotten to do them, it's gonna give you a warning. Hey, you have 7 unanswered questions. It's telling me, hey, you got some issues here. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do it just so you can see what happens. See, it's telling me I got a 0. These are my wrong answers, right? So here's the interesting thing. Once you're finished with a test, right, you can notice when you were taking the test, you know that button that says question help, which is going to exist on homework assignments. Let me show you. So let's say you're on section 1.1 homework, right? Let me go ahead and expand this to make it bigger. Okay, notice if you're doing, say, section 1.1, all right. If I go, like, say, question 4, notice you always have this help available to you on the side, right? Right here, question help. Now, this does not exist, obviously, on test day, right? So, but when you go to review, it's there, which is nice, because you want to see what you missed on your test, because you're going to want to understand these tests, even if you've missed some questions, because later on, when you want to study for the final, guess what? You're basically going to study your tests. You're not going to have time to study everything, right? So what's a good way to get ready for the final? Study your test. I'm not going to give you anything on the final you haven't already seen on a test. You see what I mean? So that's the best way to prepare. So that's why you don't want to forget about a test just because it's finished. You want to make sure you understand what you've done incorrectly, right? So now this question help even during a regular homework assignment is really nice because some of them have videos. For example, you click that and a video comes up and explains to you how to do the problem. Or
a variable is a symbol, usually a letter that stands for an unknown.
If you click it, it can go full screen.
A variable is a symbol, usually a letter that stands for an unknown number.
Okay, so some of them have videos associated with them like that. Or sometimes you just want to get more depth into the whole concept, right? That's when you would, like, for example, hit textbook. When you do that, that's going to open the textbook for you that this Math Excel system is based on, right? My Math Lab system or Math Excel system is associated with some textbook, right? So this takes you to the textbook, which this particular class is based on, which is Pathway to Introductory Statistics by Jay Lehman. So it takes you, but not just to the textbook in general. What it takes you is it takes you to the particular place in the textbook where that concept is discussed, which is really nice, okay? So if you're doing a chapter 7 concept, it doesn't bring you to chapter 1. It takes you to chapter 7 and the particular section in which it's covered, okay? So there you can read that. Now within these, once you go to the textbook, you have some links that also will take you to videos associated with some of the topics, okay? So there's a ton of resources available to you. All right, so but what I was trying to explain to you is that when you try to review a test, when you click on results, you don't want to, you don't review your tests by clicking on homework and tests. You click on results, right? If you click on homeworks and tests, you will see the quiz that you just took, right? The practice test, but there is no review button, you see? It's just telling you this item is here. But when you go to results, now, not only, first of all, when you go to results, make sure from the first time you do this, you click on entire course to date and all assignments. That way you won't ever miss anything, right? So otherwise, if it's like past 2 weeks, more than if this one only says past 2 weeks, and you're trying to review something that happened more than 2 weeks ago, you won't see it here. So the best thing is just to make sure this is on entire course to date. That way you'll always see everything, okay? So here's the practice test I just failed miserably, right? So if I click on review, that's chapter, okay, chapter O won't have this, the thing I wanted to show you. That's the only chapter that won't. But the practice test is actually what I wanted to review. The problem is the practice test is on chapter O. Okay, but if you do a test which is on the other sections, that question help that I was showing you in the homework set, it'll be there for the test as well, which is really nice, because then you can use that to do the review. Now, if that doesn't show up, and I've had situations in the past where it doesn't because I had to pick just the calculator and the test crunch option, then here's the way you can get help still. Okay, let me show you. So let's say you go to a practice test and you want to know how to do a certain item, right? So here's what you do. You find the question. Let's say question. This is another attempt. I did better on that attempt, right? I was trying to make some mistakes so I could show you, but that's not good because that's one I got right. Let's go to this one. All right. So here, see, right there, that's what you want to look for, because that's where you can go in the homework assignments to find out how to do this with help. See here, they don't show you any help, right? So in case that's the situation, just make a note of this number. Then you go into chapter O, homework. And you want to just go ahead and start looking 0.1.19, I believe it was, right? So that's 0.1. So you just have to go forward a few. I think we're going to want to just skip a few to 5. That's... Okay, so it didn't come up here. Okay, I must have picked that from a different bank, but this won't happen on regular tests. On regular tests from other chapters, you will always find the question that's on the test among one of your homework sets. Okay, so you'll find that, and then you'll have the question help, which gives you the, let me show you something about the question help as well, because there is a system here I want you to use for your own sake, for maximum efficiency. I want you to do the help me solve this first. Okay, so let's just go to an actual set you're going to be doing with real results. All right, so when you click on question help, you want to do the help me solve this first. That's like the good tutor, as I explained to you in the welcome video. Then you'll do view an example. If this doesn't help you, which this almost always does, you will rarely use this, because view an example just works it out for you, right? Not exactly the same problem, but it works a similar problem. But help me solve this is better because it guides you so you get to the answer yourself. You see what I mean? So it's a better choice. Okay, so make sure you do that. All right, now that's that basically. So in that order. And of course, again, if you want more depth, you can watch a video, go to the textbook. StatCrunch is an application which we will be using to do some of the statistical material. So I'll show you how to use that when we get to it, okay? But for now, that's what you're going to be looking at. All right. You won't be using that in chapter 1 stuff. All right. So that's basically the way this stuff is done, you know? What else did I want to tell you? Let's go back to that email I sent you. So here's the email. So we did go over what's going on with Canvas, Math Excel. Oh, ClassCalc. All right, so this is what I need you to do on your calculator right now, on your mobile phone, okay? Go ahead and look, do a search for whether you have an Android or a iPhone. It doesn't matter, both of them exist, right? So you're going to go ahead and go to your app store. If it's an iPhone or an Android, you know, for Android, it's called Play Store, right? And do a search for I'll put it in the chat box. Why didn't it give me? Okay, do a search for class, all one word, okay? Class calc, like that. And the very first item that comes up, you see that? That's the item you want with the little C as the symbol. Go ahead and, oh, I forgot to push send on the chat box. So here is the name, class calc. I put it in the chat box. And when you search for it, you'll see this item, class calc. Go ahead and install it if you haven't done so already. And go ahead and open it once you have installed it. So you should get something looking like this, okay? Let me back up a little bit, okay, like that. All right, that's the scientific mode, or you may be in graphing mode. You may have this come up. This may be the first thing that you see. Now, if we're not doing graphing at a particular time, it's better not to have all that space wasted with the grid. So you'll click on this top right here. Not there, too much top. The little triangle that you see, when you click it, that comes up, right? Then just go ahead and pick scientific instead of the graphing. When you do, you basically get this. Notice I have it right here. That's exactly what it looks like on the phone as well. See? I'm just running this as on the computer as a web app, right? From a browser. Okay, so it's a very good calculator and it's free. So, but it is also going to help us during our tests. So during the test, this is going to be the only approved calculator, all right? And here's what you're going to do. Is everyone, has everyone downloaded and installed it? Any questions on downloading and installing Class Calc?
No, I've already installed
Yeah.
mine on my phone.
Okay, good. Anybody? Okay, so now what I would like you to learn is how to do this. All right, this is the main thing. On test day, right? Before you start your test, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and click on, you see, after you should log in with whatever account. I think the easiest place to log in with Gmail, right? So if you have a Gmail account, go ahead and log in with your Gmail account. And on the day before you start taking your test, right? So give yourself some time. Don't push start on your test before you do this, because you don't want to be wasting time from your test on this, right? So you want to do this before you start your test. It's just going to show a longer period for the self-lock, which is fine. And then you're going to click on your name over here. It's just going to be usually just the first initial, right, letter. And click on that, and you see several options, right? Join a class, and then the second one, you notice, self-lock, right? So go ahead and click on that self-lock. Okay, notice what it says. Self-lock will temporarily pause all distractions and notifications on this device, right? Go ahead and click continue. And then it says click here to activate PIN mode and press accept. So you go ahead and it's just pinning an app, right? That's what the operating system is going to do. So go ahead and click that big blue button and go ahead and convert, approve. All right, so you notice you get this screen. It's telling you that your self-log began at so-and-so, like 1:57 p.m., right? So here you're gonna go ahead and click continue. And now you just use the calculator as a calculator. Anytime you need it, you just go in there and use it. Now, one thing you will notice is that's the only thing you're gonna have access to on your phone while this is happening, right? Again, unfortunately, this has been forced on us by some of your less than honest classmates, but this is the best of both worlds because it gives me some reassurance and it also gives you a very nice free calculator. So, so go ahead and use it, all you need during the test, that's fine. And then when you're finished, right? So again, don't do this until you're done submitting your, you don't want to kill test time for this. So once you've submitted and you've gotten your result, you're done, right? So go ahead and then you see on the upper left now what it says, exit lock, right? Go ahead and exit lock. And then it's gonna give you this warning that you can take a screenshot of this after exiting. So go ahead and hit exit self-lock. And now it'll give you this really nice output, which tells me when you logged in or put your phone in self-lock and when you took it out, right? Now, it's important that right now you know how to take a screenshot on your phone, right? So you go ahead and take a screenshot. If it's an Android, I know how to do it. On Android, it's the power button and the volume. Help me out. What is it? Down? Okay, let's try both. Yeah.
It's down.
So power button and volume down. I think on an iPhone, it's the opposite. Somebody with an iPhone, help me out here. It's power button and volume up, right? Anybody with
It's
an
the power
iPhone?
button. It's the power button and the home button.
Okay, so on an iPhone, it's the power button and the home button. Okay, so make sure you know how to do this. Practice this before test day so that you don't want to waste any time on that. Okay, so that's it. Once you've done that, you can just say, I'm finished with the timestamp after you've taken your screenshot. And you're good to go. Then you go ahead and once you've taken this, now you know you have all these answer sheets, right? You've been working problems out, right, on paper. So you want to also take a picture after you finish taking that screenshot. Right after it, go ahead and put your answer sheets right in front of you, line them up, snap, 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 right? Let's say you have 3 sheets. Snap all 3 sheets, and then just send me at my email address, which you all know, but I'll write it down anyway. It's on your syllabus, but here it is. It's FARZIN, FARZINR at laccd.edu. Okay, so you go ahead and just send me the images of the screenshot they should all be next to each other. So they should be easy to select as a multiple select situation, right? Send them to that address. Just make sure that you put Math 137 in the subject of the address, okay? Math 137. Then I'll know it's coming to which class, and I send it to the right place. I save it in the right folder, and that's it. So it may sound complicated, but once you do it at one time or twice, it's going to be a piece of cake. Okay, so there's my email address. I keep forgetting to push send. I'm not a chatter like some of you guys, maybe your generation. All right, so there it is. FARZINR@laccd.edu. You just send me those, and that's it. So in case there's any partial credit consideration, this is one of the reasons I need you to go and review your tests, right? So when you review your test and you find that, for example, oh, here I just put an extra space, Math Excel can be touchy, right? So let's say you put an extra space and you got counted wrong, right? Now, when I look at the answer sheets, I do a quick scan for possible, wrongdoing, but not necessarily a deep scan. So for that, you're gonna come into play, right? So you're gonna write me and you're gonna say, look, can you please check number 5 on my test? I think I just wrote it with an extra space, or I put a parenthesis by accident, or something like that, right? So you let me know that, and then I check it. So if I have this answer sheets that you just sent me, it's going to be very easy for me to go and check it and give you the partial credit. Which brings me to the other point that's why I need you to send these to me within 15 minutes of submitting the test, so that I can make sure that you didn't, go and concoct the whole different type of answer sheet for me. So please, when you're done, go ahead and attach these to an email. Now, if you have an app on your phone which can combine them into a single PDF, I would be very, very thankful to you. If you can find a way on your phone, I know these apps exist, okay, but they're, I'm not one who uses them often myself. So if you can find an app that can combine all those images into a single PDF or Word document even, that would be perfect. If not, no big deal. Just go ahead and just send me one email, please, with all the photos. Don't send me an email for every photo, okay? I've had that happen before. So just one email, attach all the photos to it. The one from the class calc together with the ones from your, your answer sheets, your worksheets for the test, okay? And that's it. That should handle that. All right, so that's another thing I wanted to show you. Let me make sure we covered everything we were gonna cover. Class calc, yeah. And the other thing that, the last thing that I want to tell you is the fact that I will be available during office hours at this same Zoom link, okay? So I have it here permanently placed on your homepage, okay? So on that top part of Canvas, right? See office hour Zoom link, all right? So here, I think I'm just gonna leave that password for the, we have to have a passcode now. It's one of the rules of Zoom. They've had some issues. So I think I'll just add the passcode. $28.64, right? All right. So you will always find this link there waiting for you. So again, I do have a life, kind of, right? So no, I do. And also, I do have a wife, which will not like me just being 24/7 available. So it's not, doesn't mean I'm always there, but there, during those hours, I'm definitely there. Now, again, if you can't make it during those hours, let me know. I'll manage another time for you, okay? And also, it's going to be the same link that you'll use for our Sunday sessions, if you can make it to those, which is from 1 to 3, I believe I wrote down. It's in your syllabus, okay? Read your syllabus carefully. I put a lot of information in your syllabus, okay? I'm not one of those 5-word syllabus people. And also, beyond just material related to just our class, I have a lot of information in there that can be useful to you as a student, period, in any class, okay? So, all the ways, you know, all the information you need is right there, all right, for our entire term. And that should pretty much do it, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this screen share. And let me see if I can actually end this. All right, so okay. So can you guys see me on here now? All right, so if you have a minute, and if you would like to show me your video so we can get to meet each other, that would be good. If not, this should do it for today. Any questions? I want to open up the board for any questions you may have. Any questions about any of the stuff that you have heard so far? Anything?
So-
like
Hi,
Yeah, go
this
ahead.
is Katie. Hi, Professor. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So I just sent you a message on the chat, and I just was wondering, so we can join the Zoom meetings on Sundays regardless if we have a question or not? Or is,
Oh,
or,
of course.
okay,
I encourage it.
okay,
You know, I'm always going to give you some pointers here and there, you know, so
right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been in school, so maybe like 15, 20 years ago. So this is gonna be a refresher for me.
Yeah, we'll do a complete roundup of the whole week on that day. So yeah, definitely. Let me bring this down a little bit. So yeah, so we'll be, it'll be very, very helpful for you to come in if it's been a while since you did math. So yeah, by all means, come in for sure.
Thank you.
Who was it? Vincent, was that you asking a question?
Yeah, so we can't access the math Excel thing until we purchase access for it.
Right. Unfortunately, that's the way they've set up the Math Excel one. On the plus side, you're paying almost $50 less than for My Math Lab. On the minus side, they don't have the trial period. I think My Math Lab gives you like a 2-week trial period or something. They don't with this, unfortunately.
Okay.
But stay, you're gonna love it. I promise you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No questions.
All right, guys, then have a good day. And just remember, just do the assignments daily. You'll do fine. It's a very perfectly paced class. It's going to look really, but again, as long as you do it all on time. Okay? Perfect. So if I don't,
Thank you, Professor.
yeah, so I'll either see you at an office hour or next Sunday at the latest. Okay, take care and be good.
Thank you.
Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.